Good morning. My name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is April 25th, 2012, and I'm in San Diego, California, and I'm making this video file in order to help people understand the continued expedition that is still going on towards me in San Diego, California. I am right now hiking in California, this situation that you see right here was created as a result of my rent that was mailed certified mail return receipt, United States Postal Service return receipt, and the rent was purchased through a United States Postal Service money order, was literally stolen out of the mail by a postal employee by the name of Rose in Dearborn, Michigan. Okay, and the apartment that I did have for over 11 months, I was literally electronically harassed. My apartment was every day, okay? My apartment was entered on multiple occasions. I had to file 3 police reports just in reference to that in Michigan, which the Dearborn police totally altered each of those reports until I got extremely adamant about it and kept going back to make sure that they corrected things that they put in there that were not true, because the Dearborn police were involved in this from the very beginning, all the way back to 1986, and I didn't have a clue. It's organized crime within the system. It's a nationwide syndicate that is happening towards me in reference to the expeditions, the type of expeditions, which is called organized stalking, and it's also known as gang stalking. And this proves what today's date is. April 25th, Wednesday at 7:32 a.m. And this is one of my current hiking areas. Now, some people might think to themselves, well, why don't you just get another apartment? Well, let me tell you what's happened in the last 4 apartments that I've had. In Michigan, I was electronically harassed on a daily basis. My apartments were entered multiple times. Things were moved around, things were taken and then replaced later in totally separate locations in reference to where they were originally placed at when they were first taken. Excuse me. I've been poisoned in my apartments. In other words, once I left, they would come in and literally put stuff in my food. I'd come home and eat it and end up deathly sick for 5 days. And I'm 48 years old, so I know the difference between having the flu, having a bad head cold, having cyanitis, or just having a virus. You know the difference, trust me. I've been electrical shocked in my apartments. Yeah, my last apartment, I was sleeping one morning, and I was literally sleeping, and I felt a jolt come up through my left foot, and it literally shocked my body to the point to where it literally took out all the air in my lungs and woke me up. Yeah, I woke up like this, like that. Yeah, because it literally, through electrical shock, it shocked my whole body. And I've discovered on the internet that the other targets are putting up with the same exact thing. Let's see what else. Well, they entered my apartment on multiple occasions. I'd come home and the door would be wide open. Okay, the landlord, all landlords, the past 4 landlords I've had have directly engaged in direct conversation tactics towards me, okay, which is organized stalking. See, in organized stalking, what they do is sensitize you to verbal statements, comments, and it's called sensitization. And this is done to form the association in the target's mind that what is happening to them is being done deliberately. Okay. In other words, like if somebody came up to you and hit you and said, "You freak," as they were hitting you, then the next day someone comes up to you and hits you and calls you a freak. Yeah, you think, well, it was just a coincidence. Then a week later somebody comes up to you and hits you and calls you a freak. Then it happens again 2 days after that. Then it happens again 3 days after that. Then it happens again 4 days after that. Then you start noticing that this is being done deliberately, and this is what I mean. Okay, and this is what the last 4 landlords were literally doing in reference to what I was putting up with, in reference to the organized stalkers along my path, and in reference to things that were done at my apartment. They were also sabotaging all my electronic equipment to the point to where I couldn't even watch TV. Yeah, I went and bought a portable DVD player, go to the library and check out some movies, come home after a long day and attempt to watch them, put them in the DVD player, and they would shut it down. Connie Marshall talked about that in her videos, and it's all over the internet. They have the capacity to do that as well. Between them breaking into my apartment, coming home, my apartment door being wide open, coming home, things being moved around, taken and then replaced on later dates, things thrown around in my apartment, I'd leave my apartment spick and span clean, come home, and things would be taken out of the refrigerator and thrown on the kitchen floor. Yeah, things would be moved around. Then you had the electronic harassment that was perpetrated towards me in those apartments. Then the noise campaigns, loud stereos in apartments next to me, keys being thrown against the wall, people standing outside of my door and engaging in direct conversation tactics right outside my door of the room I was sleeping in. What woman would not feel threatened as a result? Yeah. Then they kept stealing my rent every month and then waiting till the last possible minute before the property owner would say, yeah, we got it, after they sent an eviction notice, making me fearful that I was going to be evicted because I already knew they were the ones who were actually playing games with the rent that I would mail them every month. What they were doing was fear-mongering that my rent was going to be stolen every single month. Then, after I would mail my rent certified mail return receipt every month, what they would do is wait until around the 8th of each month and make me wait for the receipt in reference to the rent that I mailed. When I seen that this receipt wasn't coming in, between that and hearing through electronic harassment and through direct conversation tactics outside of my door, does she really expect to stay here? Does she really think that her rent got received? Literally. And then I'm chasing and waiting for the receipt all month long. Then around the 17th and 18th of each month, I was getting eviction notices that told me I had 7 days to pay rent or they would evict me. Then on the 6th day, they would contact me and say they got it and didn't know they had it. Bullshit. It was nothing but conditioning fear that I was going to be evicted. Then I started reaching out to the Free Press, the ACLU, Amnesty International, on top of filing police reports about them breaking into my apartment. They seen it was getting out, and I was blogging. They seen they were being exposed, so they finally stole the rent. This is literally how they operated. My name is Leslie Williams. Can you imagine living like that in each apartment? Go to Google and type in organized stalking, rent apartments next to Targets. Yeah, go to Google, type in organized stalking or gang stalking and property owners, landlords, postal employees, mail theft and mail delayment. And you'll come to understand that the only thing that these individuals do is wear you out to wear you down. They infiltrate your life through these overt and covert means and harass you non-stop along all your routes and while you're at home to break you down mentally, to break you down psychologically, and break you down financially. Then they create the destitution by stealing the rent. Then once you're put out on the street, they harass you along all your routes. They get the community at large to harass you because the police are syndicated within these schemes. And they got the power to use what is known as the community notification, which is used to basically notify the community. Supposedly this tool was set up to notify the community about sexual predators. What they do is use it to notify the community about a lie about a target, to get them to harass a target for them for free using this tool. Yeah. And this is done to make a target feel that no matter where they go, they're going to be harassed, they're going to be assaulted, they're going to be intimidated. No matter where they go, they're going to experience harassment on a non-stop basis brought about towards them through overt physical gestures and verbal statements and assaults along all of their routes. Yeah, including at their hiking area. My name is Leslie Williams. And what they do is also, once they get a person out on the street, they'll use homeless people to assault a target, to bring provocations and incidences and accusations towards a target, so 911 can be called. Yeah. And then the police come and say, well, what are you hiking here for? They make police reports about you being homeless, offer you services that you can go to, like a homeless shelter. You accept them, you go to the homeless shelter, you're gang stalked to there. Yeah, but they don't really start the open gang stalking there until after you sign the papers. Then they initiate it, causing you to want to leave, but then now they got it on file that you were there, that you were homeless, that you were offered services but left. Alright, do you get what I'm saying? The whole goal for this is to accumulate documentation that target's homeless, was offered services, wouldn't accept them, and then left and is homeless again as a result. The whole goal is to paint a picture before a syndicated probate attorney and judge that the target is homeless and can't take care of themselves and is not able to take care of themselves, so their finances can be legally taken over. This is about exploitation, financial exploitation, Medicare exploitation, and sexual exploitation. That's why they created destitution to begin with. It's organized crime within the system. And what they want to do is take over target social security checks. Then once they get a hold of them and place them in a syndicated group home, they exploit the Medicare by bringing about all types of incidences and schemes towards the target in the homes. They blame the target then at that time that they're responsible for the problems and say, you got to go to the hospital because you're out of control. They petition them in the hospital as a result of them having legal guardianship of them, and the doctor bilks Medicare out of hundreds of thousands of dollars because this is done on a repeated basis. And while the target is deliberately put on psychotropic medications and medications that cause anxiety, they're released then back into the home to the same exact deliberate harassment schemes that are brought about deliberately towards the target. So then the target can be blamed for the incidences again, and so they can petition the target back into the hospital again to bilk the Medicare out of hundreds of thousands of dollars again. They also sexually exploit the targets in these homes. They go after single women, single mothers, people on disability. I'm a single woman on disability. Do the math. This is the whole types of schemes. And what they do is bring incidences and use anybody in the community to be the buffer between me and the police, so the police can start achieving police reports that this person's homeless and won't get out of the homeless situation even though they got money. Bullshit. If I went and took an apartment right now, I'd be electronically harassed there, and the same incidences and problems would happen there that happened to me in Michigan because it's a nationwide syndicate. I'm being electronically harassed at this location. I was literally electronically harassed and tortured through remote neural monitoring, influencing, and stimulating for 7 full months, 150 feet away from the San Diego FBI building. My name is Leslie Williams. They also got outside of my tent, would walk around it. Yeah, when I was camping next to the FBI building. I would hear their cell phones go off. I would hear them sneezing. Okay? So if you don't think that they're not going to initiate these campaigns towards me in an apartment after they did it for 7 full months when I was camping 150 feet away from the FBI building on the hill behind Walmart at Stonecrest Plaza, do you really honestly think they're not going to gang stalk me again to an apartment or a homeless shelter? Bullshit. Do the math. My name is Leslie Williams. I am here to expose these crimes that are happening towards me because they're also happening towards hundreds of thousands of Americans right now in real time. And I make these videos in order to be able to help you understand the factual realities and the truth in reference to these expeditions. I'm in San Diego, California. It's April 25th, 2012. I'm literally harassed along all my routes at USD and SCSU, and public libraries are flat out intercepting my emails for help. My cell phone's been hacked. All you have to do is go to Google and type in organized stalking in universities. You'll get anywhere between 6 million and 8 million Google-generated responses to say I'm telling you the truth concerning that. And if you Google organized stalking and cyber surveillance and email interception and rerouting, look at the amount of Google-generated responses you'll get to that. I'm here to expose these crimes because they're happening to innocent people like me. Okay, I'm in San Diego, California, and I am telling you right now, fellow San Diegoans and fellow citizens, the San Diego police are directly involved in this crime. They're not just protecting it or allowing it. They are literally flat out directly involved in it. San Diego, California.